Salutations, people of the internet. Welcome to the database. With the upcoming release of Sonic Origins next month on June 23rd, I want to do something special, and that is to cover all the classic era 2D Sonic games, from the first Sonic the Hedgehog released on the Genesis, to the new 2D Sonic game that celebrated the classics, Sonic Mania. Let's commence this as the first big marathon for the channel, something that I would like to accomplish this summer. Sonic the Hedgehog is a series that has a huge impact on my life, as well as many others. One of their games had gotten me into loving video games, and I have no idea where I'd be without the Sonic franchise. It'll be like that one meme of moving the table just the slightest drastically change the timeline as we know it. Sonic started out as Sega's attempt at competing with then video game rival company Nintendo and their mascot Mario. They once had Alex Kidd as their mascot, but he wasn't such a standout to many gamers, unlike the Red Plumber. Thus, the Sega team did several sketch designs of their new mascot until settling on a hedgehog design once known as Mr. Needlemouse. Until settling on a more appealing name for the masses, and thus in 1991, Sonic the Hedgehog was born on the Sega Genesis. What are my first impressions on Sonic's first game ever? Let's begin. Also, for this retrospective, all footage gathered here will be from the Sega Ages version on Nintendo Switch. The first Sonic game focuses on the Blue Burr as he stops the evil Dr. Robotnik from roboticizing woodland creatures. This can be done by going through 7 stages with 3 acts apiece. Sounds easy enough. For the first game, we're already introduced to the main hero and the main villain of the story, which by first game standard is already enough to introduce the series. One thing that you notice is that while looking at the stage select, you'll notice that the order of stages are very different. As the stage progresses, Sonic would enter zones that become more metallic, emphasizing Robotnik's goal of roboticizing all nature in the world. Though seeing as Labyrinth Zone is the second stage in this stage select, let's just thank God that never happened. Alright, let's begin. Ah yes, Green Hill Zone, the first Sonic stage in the game, and the most overused Sonic stage in the series. I'm just saying, people should give more credit to Emerald Hill and Angel Island Zone. Regardless, Green Hill Zone is still iconic, even if it is overused in many games. This stage has tons of places that will give you consistent momentum and filled with alternative pathways to several secrets. A great first stage to go through when understanding the mechanics and gameplay style Sonic is going for, and this different gameplay style makes him a big standout compared to the other platforms in the 90s. Many say Sonic is always about speed. I say that was not always the case. Sonic's gameplay focuses on momentum and how the players consistently keep that high speed momentum going. This can be seen as Sonic hustles through many loops and steep curves throughout the stages. Having to keep that same momentum going, or increasing the speed of momentum throughout the stage, from point A to point B, is the most satisfying part in any Sonic game. That is until you hit the second stage of the game, no, not Labyrinth Zone, Marble Zone, where the idea of momentum-based gameplay is nowhere to be found, thrown out the window. It's all slow-paced waiting and platforming, something that many Sonic games going forward will try to avoid. For the most part. At least Springguard Zone brought back some signs of momentum-based gameplay. You got nice steep curves as far as I can see. Although these rolling badniks are a bit annoying though. So sadly for Springguard Zone, while you do have areas that showcases momentum, there are still areas where you still have to wait. Like this one section near the end of Act 3, or when avoiding these large spike balls upon a downhill slope. But my god. Labyrinth Zone, universally claimed as the worst Sonic stage in the series. You're even slower on water. There are no areas that resemble momentum-based gameplay, and the boss for this stage is a pain in the ass to get through. Turns out, funny thought, you don't even need to beat Robotnik in this stage. Instead, you just have to ascend the stage while avoiding the water and other harmful objects. Yeah, great boss design. Each zone in the game ends with a boss fight against Dr. Robotnik or Dr. Eggman in the zone's third act. The pattern for each boss, save for Labyrinth Zone, are very easy to recognize, and he can be taken down in 8 hits. In the final zone, where he has the same amount of hit points, you don't have any rings to back you up, so it's do or die in one hit for this one. Rings in this game serve as your extra hit point, Get hit once and you lose all of them and must chase them around to save some of them. There are items such as shield that will grant you another hit point, running shoes that will make your move even faster, one-ups which can also be granted by collecting 100 rings, and a self-explanatory invincibility item. Having at least 50 rings will grant you access to a special stage. These stages are very hard to look at visually. It makes my eyes hurt every time I visit these. So much so that they cost me a chance of getting a Chaos Emerald. Now, when you think of Chaos Emerald, what's the first thing you think of? Supersonic, right? In the first game, you don't get that. Rather, you get an ending that feels so anticlimactic but does leave open questions as to what kind of powers these Chaos Emeralds wield. Is it worth nabbing all 6 of them in the game? Not really. You do end up with a try again screen if you don't have all of them, but you aren't missing much. Now for the other stages. Starlight Zone is a huge 180 compared to the other stages. We are freaking finally have a stage layout that caters to momentum based gameplay. And not only that, but this stage is also fun to revisit while recording footage. In fact, look at back some of these commercials from Sonic 1, you only see Green Hill and Starlight Zone being the only stage prominently featured in the showcase. I wouldn't say the same for the last traditional zone in the game, Scrap Brain Zone. This stage will test your patience in time and lives. You are 90% certain to lose rings in this stage, but none are as pain in the ass than Scrap Brain Zone Act 3, which is Labyrinth Zone Act 4. Thankfully, there is one shortcut at the beginning of the stage you can sprint through that lets you jump over majority of the stage and head to the final zone in less than a couple of minutes. Want to beat Eggman in the final zone? That is it for Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a short game that will take you a couple hours to complete, double the runtime if you plan on getting all the Chaos Emeralds. For the first game of the series, it's a mixed bag. You got stages like Green Hill and Starlight Zone that showcases Sonic's speed and momentum-based platforming, while you get stages like Marble Zone and Labyrinth Zone that show none of those traits. It's stuff like this where not a lot of Sonic fans talk about the first Sonic game that much. It's an okay first impression to kick off the franchise, but not so much the game that represents the Sonic games. Had the first game be consistent with displaying momentum-based platforming, perhaps the reception would be a little bit better than before. I guess Labyrinth Zone was there to showcase Sonic being slow in water, but this feels a bit too much. Maybe things will change when I get to Sonic 2. There are many ways you can play Sonic 1, and all the other classic Sonic games in many compilations. As I mentioned before, I've been using footage from the Sega Ages version of the game from my Nintendo Switch. Here, this gives me access to having the spin dash and drop dash in Sonic moveset, as well as immediate access to the level select. This also applies to this 3D Sega Classics version I have on the Nintendo 3DS, though sadly neither version had widescreen support where the game fits the whole screen. But if you still want widescreen and HD quality, there's the Christian Whitehead mobile port. Here you also have multiple save files, time attack mode, and the option to play as Tails and Knuckles, although you must unlock them through specific requirements. Pray that the Sonic Origins version get this right and have Tails and Knuckles unlockable from the beginning. Finally, I almost forgot to mention this game's music. Green Hill Zone is still iconic, as well as the boss theme for when fighting Robotnik. In fact, even though Labyrinth Zone is still the worst Sonic stage in the game, the music here is very catchy, although you could say the same for all the stages here. This game is a great example of using the Genesis' 16-bit chiptune. Now, I'm not the best expert of analyzing video game music, but you can easily recognize what's either a Genesis game or a Sonic game through its music. And that's it for today's video. This was a fun video to edit. I've been trying new ways of editing videos each time and have been experimenting with them as well. I want to thank you guys for watching. It would really mean a whole lot for me if you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to notify on my next video release. Be sure to thumbs up the video if you like it, and follow me on social media as seen above here. This is CJ Styles, and I'll see you guys next time with my look at Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on Sega Genesis.